So today I want to explore a question that I see very often, and as typical, I want to maybe challenge the usual way of looking at this. And the question was how to stop looking for love and focus on yourself. And I have some notes, but we'll see what wants to come out. The thing that I want to start with is that, first of all, just take in whatever resonates with you. If something doesn't resonate with you, don't worry. If something triggers you, that's okay. But it's something kind of piques your curiosity there. Maybe explore it within your own time. The first thing that has been incredibly helpful for me is to realize that sometimes we try to over spiritualize things or try to be too perfect and too whatever your goal might be. If you like look up to people who are enlightened and you want to get to that place, we have a milestone that we want to reach of perfection. And here's what I want to invite you to consider, that we're human beings. We're going to want love, and we're going to want to experience love coming from someone else. Yes, I agree with everything that everyone says, like you are who you're looking for. Yes, sounds beautiful and amazing. And at the same time, we want a partner, and that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Here's an idea that I was thinking right before starting the video, that sometimes saying that we don't need anyone could definitely be a self-defense mechanism of pushing people away, putting a barrier in front of you so no one gets close because you won't get hurt. So the idea of trying to stop needing anyone, I see where it's coming from, and I understand. I understand, because sometimes there's definitely dynamics in relationships. It could even be friendships, family, or romantic relationships, where there's an unhealthy dynamics, right? That definitely exists, of course. And at the same time, like I said, we overthink things, and we always think we're doing it wrong, or we always think there's a better way, which there might be. But at the same time, it's interesting to consider the idea that that's what we're here for. Someone shared a thing online a while ago that said that we're not here to experience unconditional love. We're here to experience all kinds of things, all the messy love and all the crazy shit that we go through, which we might not like it, but that's maybe part of the journey. Maybe that's part of what we're here, right? And I like the quote that Rumi says, I think I wrote it down, but it's like, keep breaking your heart until it opens. It's not easy. It takes courage, and at the same time, we do know that those challenging experiences are the ones that actually give us incredible transformation and healing and breakthroughs and whatever you want to call it. And trying to not need someone, trying to not need a partner, might be a way to put an armor around us and some protection so that we don't experience that pain. And at the same time, I realize that for people that ask that question, I know where you're coming from. If you just left a relationship, I actually had this experience once where I had a beautiful connection with an incredible woman, and we both wanted to explore that connection, but she was just ending a relationship. And I could tell from conversations that we had that she tended not to experience time by herself. So at the same time, I know that I didn't want to be the one rescuing her from that experience that maybe she needed to go through, as painful as it is, as crazy as that might sound. I at least I felt, and I could tell maybe that's what we both needed, because it was incredibly hard for me too. So I understand where the question's coming from, and I understand the balance that we need to maybe just see what resonates with you when you're exploring that question. I always say I don't have the answers. The answers are inside of you. As corny as that sounds, I know everyone says it, but whenever I work with a client and we're having a coaching call over the phone, I try not to give answers myself. I try to, through questions, help you come up with the answers. So it's interesting things to consider. And there's another quote by Rumi that I forget the exact quote, and I wrote like the end, but something around looking for the barriers that you've built around your heart. And I forget the exact quote. I should have written it down, but it's that same idea of I've noticed in my own life there's many ways in which I kind of build that protection, because it sucks to get hurt. It sucks to go through that pain, and I've at times kind of kept people away and like not let people get close to me, and I've always considered myself a lone wolf. And in a coaching program that I'm a part of right now, we talked about that the other day, that there's times in our lives where that feels great and it feels empowering and it feels beautiful, and it's actually what we need. And at the same time realizing that we need connection, we need each other, and we're here for each other, we're here to help each other. So it's an interesting balance, an interesting dance that I can't tell you where you are in that dance and where you might benefit from if you go that way. So just exploring for you that idea of you might need time for yourself, or you might want to explore, I'll speak for myself, my fears around deep connection, and the fears of, it could be the connection itself and that depth of love and feeling that we might experience, or the fear of the anxiety about the future, that connection might come apart, and experiencing that pain. So it's interesting food for thought. And I think we do need, obviously, to get maybe clarity on that, we do need time by ourselves. We do need time alone to, first of all, that part of us that's so desperate, and I'm using that word on purpose because that's how I've felt throughout my whole life, so desperate for connection and desperate for other people, desperate to find that partner. With time alone, we can explore that, and we can be okay with that part, welcome it, appreciate it, give it the love that it's looking for from other people, give that to yourself. And I know I started the video with something similar to that, kind of like in the opposite view of that, because like I said, as beautiful as that sounds, we're still going to want connection. So just keeping that in the back of your mind, that I'm a human being, I'm not a robot, I'm not a computer, I'm not a machine, I'm a human being, and I do want connection, I do want to find someone. So being okay with that, being okay with the fact that you feel lonely, being okay with the fact that you want someone, being okay with the fact that it's not easy to experience that inner sensation of so desperately wanting to be with someone and not finding that person. So I think in that time by ourselves, whether through journaling, whether through someone who can guide you as a coach, whether it's someone who, even a friend, anyone who you can open up with and just very, very honestly and authentically share everything you're feeling, I use the phrase all the time, get real about how you feel so that you can heal. Got that from Candice Van Dale. And getting extremely real, giving that part of you that's in pain a voice. I always say give the microphone to that part of you. Give the microphone to your inner child. Give the microphone to that part of you that feels lonely. There's a lot of beauty within loneliness, as painful as it is and as crazy as that might sound. There's a lot of gifts within it. And a perspective that I've had for a while is that I think everything, and this is a radical way of thinking, but just maybe be open to it, and we'll let the seed drop and see what it does. But maybe everything is here to help you, and maybe loneliness has a purpose. Maybe loneliness has wisdom for you and a message for you. And even asking sometimes, what is it that you're here to show me? And I know that might sound weird for a lot of people, and I've actually taken people throughout a coaching session. First, I do a little meditation to get people relaxed, centered, open, and then I guide them through those questions. And it's kind of funny, I'm typically not the kind of person that if I ask that, I don't hear a voice or anything like that, but a thought might come up, or even just a feeling, or nothing. But even just asking the question might show that part of yourself that you're open to connecting with it, that you're open to exploring this pain instead of continuing to run away from it. Because even asking the question, how to stop looking for love and focus on yourself, could be a way of running away from that pain, running away from the loneliness. So here we go into Google, like, what should I do next? And we're always looking for, and it's fine because I do it all the time. I mean, I have coaches, I have mentors that guide me. So it's not like I don't go out there looking for help. But at the same time, maybe realizing like, okay, you know what, for now, fuck Google, and I'm just gonna go in and just check in with yourself. And like I said, I don't know the answers. I don't have the answer. I don't know how to stop looking for love. It's a fascinating topic. It's a fascinating question. I do think that the more you connect with yourself, the quote unquote easier it gets. Maybe I was talking to someone recently, and she was asking me why I think that I'm still single, and she gave me a lot of beautiful compliments, and she was just curious if it was, she said, maybe if you're super picky, or if you're just waiting for your soulmate or something else. I forget what she said. And I didn't say this to her, but it's an interesting thought, that the idea of picky, like that word, picky, I find it interesting because maybe there's nothing wrong with being picky. Like that might actually be a good thing. What I told her is that unfortunately I've seen, and this is not a judgment, it's more of an observation, but if you feel like it's a judgment, I completely understand. But I see a lot of people that just settle for an okay relationship, or maybe even a great relationship. But I feel like there's potential for so much more. And maybe I'm crazy, and maybe I'll be 87 years old and still single and realize like, fuck, maybe I made a bad decision. But for right now, it feels best. Like, of course, I'm not saying like if you feel chemistry with someone and you just want to have sex and that's it, perfect, there's nothing wrong with that. If two people are into each other and they want to have sex, why not? And I'm not closed off to that. But I do notice that I need to feel something deeper. Sex is amazing, of course, but I feel that we get to a point, maybe it is through self-love. Same thing, as corny as that sounds, maybe it is through self-love that we get to that place, but of realizing that I could actually rather be by myself than just be in an okay relationship. And sometimes people get the misunderstanding that that point of view means that you expect a relationship to be like perfectly 100% of the time, zero arguments, zero challenges, and that's not what I'm saying at all. But I heard someone say like, and there's kind of like things going on around online and Instagram and stuff that you know when the right person, like when whatever challenge you're going through is worth it, and that person is the one for you, you'll know. And I think it's not easy to maybe have to wait years or decades, who knows. And I think even exploring the question like, am I willing to be single for the rest of my life? That's not easy. That's a hard question to explore. But just exploring that, just see what comes up in your body. Do you feel tense? Do you feel angry at that? Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel sad? Do you feel anxiety? What do you feel when you explore that question? Am I okay with being single for the rest of my life? Am I okay with never finding a partner? Never finding my soulmate? This might trigger a lot of sadness for a lot of us. I think I'm crazy enough that I like to explore those questions, but and always, please, if you feel like you need someone, please reach out to someone that you trust and resonate with and can support you. But these are interesting questions to explore. I like in gentle, compassionate ways, challenging my ways of looking at things. It's a friendly challenge. It's a compassionate challenge. It's just being open to that there's deeper wisdom than what we're seeing at the moment. There's always, I was actually talking to the people in my my private group yesterday that sometimes it happens a lot that I make a video, and as soon as I finish the video, I realize there's actually a deeper truth than what I just shared. And same thing, the way that I'm looking at this now, I know that if I make this same video in a month, there'll be a deeper truth that I might be able to share with you. And for you too, like if you explore this now, you can in 3 months come back to the same questions, the same ideas, this video, and explore this again and just see where it takes you. See where it takes you. Just explore, have fun, play with it. And I think in a lot of my videos, what I'm realizing that one of the underlying messages that comes through a lot when I explore these topics around self-love is the idea that it all sounds great, it sounds beautiful, it sounds amazing, but but it would benefit us to remember and remind ourselves that we're human beings and not always trying to get everything so perfect. And that expectation that we have and that goal that we have in our minds of what we want to get to, how we want to be, who we want to be, they're great. They're great. And maybe they're guiding you in the direction that you want to go to. But I've seen with anything, having those imaginary milestones and finish lines can put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So I realized that my message is the underlying message within my message is gentleness for yourself, gentleness for yourself throughout your journey, compassion for yourself, and caring for yourself and putting yourself first. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it does get pretty epic and beautiful the deeper you go. So I hope it helps. If you want to go deeper, you can join my private group. I have a little private community where I explore these topics even deeper. If you want to join, you can go to my website, gonzalocourse.com, and sign up there for the newsletter, and you'll get the link to join the group. And I love exploring these topics. I love exploring this. And hopefully, at least one of the crazy ideas that I shared was helpful. I really hope so. And yeah, I'll have more coming. So if you want to subscribe, turn on your notifications, wherever that is, stay tuned, because there's a lot more coming. Thank you so much.